What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Live with Metamona. That's me, your host, Metamona. And as always, here to ignite your curiosity with all the latest in Web3, Metaverse, crypto, AI, and whatever else is trending in technology. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. For tonight, I wanted to focus our conversation on the metaverse because so many of you are hearing the metaverse and these immersive worlds are dying down. Daily active users are at their lowest, numbers are down, and it's true, numbers are down and they have taken a hit. But that notion is far from the truth. That's my opinion. You don't have to take my word for it. And that's why tonight I've invited some of the best creators and educators to tell us what really is happening in the metaverse and how the future is looking. So let me bring them in for you because they are some of my really good friends and they're here to share their wealth of knowledge and insight with us. Look at this crew right here. I'm so excited. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. I think the last time we did this was maybe last year, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it was around Fashion Week.
Yeah, it was a while ago. So we are way overdue. Let me go around the room and introduce these amazing folks to you guys. Right here on my, no, he's over here. He's over there. Scott, right there. Where are you, Scott? He's an
Here I am.
educator, creator. He is your one and only guide in the DCL metaverse. That is Scott Moore, AKA we call him AwedJob. What's up, Scott?
Hey, nice to see you, Mona. Hello, everybody in Mona's land.
It is my
Yeah,
land over here.
yes, it
Thank you,
is. It is
Scott.
Mona's land. Yeah, so I'm happy to be here. I look forward to watching your videos. I'm excited that they're live now. There's been a lot of advances in Decentraland, especially with the new management structure, the new CEO. So I'm excited to talk about that and a lot of the initiatives that are involving many of the community members. The three of which you see here, we're all community members. Not a single one of us works for Foundation. So it's an exciting time to be active in Decentraland.
And we're going to talk all about it. Let me introduce the lady right next to me. She is the Metaverse Dream Girl, the creator of the Decentraland Baby Doll Dollhouse, the House of Tang. I can't keep up. She is the busiest woman I know. And she is, by the way, guys, the only Metaverse supermodel. And I'm being serious. She is the only Metaverse supermodel. We call her Tang. She is back. And Scott, I told her, holy cow, Tang, how's your avatar now AI? What's going on here? What's
Can't hear
up,
you,
Tang?
Tang.
Tang, we can't hear you. Oh,
Hi,
there you
I'm
go.
here. Small technical issue. I am so glad to be able to show you this avatar. Last time we did this, I had planned to have this avatar ready for you, but these things take time. It's exciting to be able to have an opportunity to use my VTuber here to try and connect with people a little bit more. I like to stay fully immersed in the metaverse. I like to stay true to my Tangpoko character. Digital identity is super important to me, so it's fabulous to be able to be here as my avatar.
I am loving this. This is so epic. Below me, He's a creator in the immersive world. His latest project we've been talking about for 2 days now has had me in tears, and I can't wait for him to tell you guys about it. Uh, Go ahead, sir. You introduce yourself. Let them know who you are, Roustan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Roustan. I'm a body painter. I paint on people and then I photograph them. I've been doing that for about 18, 19 years. I don't know, time flies. And in 2021, I dove into Web3 and learned about the metaverse pretty quick, never looked back. And here I am today. I've done several metaverse builds, connected with these beautiful people here, Tangpoko and AwedJob, Scott. And yeah, thank you for having me on. It's a last second edition.
The pleasure is mine. I wanted to, and we were talking about this earlier, I wanted to bring us together because, as we all know, the general sentiment right now about the metaverse is of numbers are down and the worlds are empty. Nevertheless, we have three remarkable individuals here who are actively building, creating, educating within these realms on a daily basis. I see it, and I know people are in the chat see it, people are in our community see it. So I thought you three would be the best three to take us inside one of our favorite metaverses, Decentraland in this case, and show our audiences what's happening in these immersive worlds right now as the numbers are down, as we face adversity. And sure, worlds are empty, but there's more going on. And I thought you three could take us through and show us. I know Scott's going to take us, drive this ship in just a moment. And Scott, as you prepare us, I wanted to really quickly get a quick comment from each of you. Tell us what is the current state of the metaverse right now as you see it and as you're in there. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. I would say that it's really active, but there's an asterisk by that, and that's the qualifier. The people that are active are people like Nico Earnshaw or Alvaro who work at Foundation. The people who are active are Unknower or Lastrum at Last Slice. The people who are active are like Ibriel, at Golfcraft. People are doing so many things, at the foundation level or at the independent level. They're also, not just the development side. So the DAUs are down, but the devs are up, right? There's just a lot happening in the background and even out in the open. I know that Tang can certainly talk about this, Baby Dolls, and Roustan has his own nightclub and he has events. And there's been a lot of cross-pollination. I know that interoperability is one of the things that we have on tap to talk about tonight, and I'm super excited about that. It's there's no one company that's going to build the metaverse. They're all, we're just going to go wherever we want to go and do the things we want to do. And there's so much excitement. It seems like every couple of weeks there's a new metaverse world that comes out, and there's a whole team of people that are working with those metaverse worlds. You've got people at Lighthouse, which is the aggregator that is a directory, a search engine of sorts of just virtual spaces. Then you've got Upstreet, you've got OnCyber, Mona, Spatial, Hyperfy. I think one of our community members, One Existence, has a list, and it's now at about 50 different metaverse worlds. So active is the word that I would use to describe this space right now.
I love that. Who wants to go next?
Hit it, Tang.
I like to say that we are exactly on track. We are where we should be. I think that yes, the metaverse is still growing. Yes, we're still in its early stages. But when the pandemic came and the hype came, all of a sudden, everybody charged in with this feeling like, oh, we need to have a replacement for real life. And I don't feel like the metaverse was ever supposed to be a replacement for real life. You know, it can be an enhancement, it can be an extension of that. But somehow the story got changed with the pandemic, and that's when people started doing stuff like building office spaces and cubicle worlds inside the metaverse, which nobody really wants. So now that life has returned a little bit back to normal, I think we're back on track. And the builders and the creators that are here are now building what is going to be another layer on top of reality, not a replacement for reality. So it's an opportunity for us to take back the original narrative and start building the way we should be building.
Absolutely. And you brought up such a good point, because the misperception is that this is going to replace interactions. It is going to replace our fun. And Scott shared an amazing video, was a CNBC coverage with me that I watched last night, and I'll put it in the notes section. And there was an Asian guy, Asian builder, I don't know his name, Scott, but he said it best. He said, the jungle, his project was in the jungle, and he said the jungle, you go and see it in its real authentic nature during the day, but at night it turns to a virtual reality, right? So you can have both, and I think that's really important to note. Roustan?
Yeah, I agree with everything everybody's saying. I also, I mean, this drought that we're experiencing is heavily related to the bear market, you know, and so all things money wise seem to dry up when we're in a bear market. But the people that are around building and stuff, like, we undeniably see the potential and the inevitable future of a metaverse, which includes many platforms. And like you said, it's not a replacement. And so we're, like, for me, like, every week I meet somebody new and I've met some unbelievably amazing devs that are just unveiling the most impressive things that I can imagine. And I'm consumed with learning what they know and applying what they're offering to my own builds. And so I'm constantly exploring, and I'm just like, I tend to always be a little bit early when it comes to technology. And I just know in like 5 years, 2 to 5 years, maybe a little bit more, who knows, like, what we're doing right now is just going to be kind of a norm, and it's going to be really old to us, and we're going to be looking for more newer things at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why we're here. We're here to show all those newer things that have taken place in one of our favorite metaverses, Decentraland. So I am going to give the ship over to Scott. Or was I supposed to do that, Scott? Is that okay? Can I take us? Yeah.
No, I was sorry. I'm doing like 5 different things, so let
I
me
know. He
let
is
me just
the
escape out of.
He is
Go ahead.
the here. I'm going to take us back, and you tell us
Yeah.
when to bring us in. He is the associate producer as well tonight, in case you guys didn't know.
Scott loves to drive.
Yeah, so he's the associate producer. Yes, go ahead, Scott.
Oh, I was just going to say, oftentimes I'm giving tours every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern is when I, Billy T. Coin, and CK Bubbles, we give tours of Decentraland. We just completed our 72nd consecutive week of giving tours to people in Decentraland. So I'm very used to, we call it sometimes herding cats. Okay, I'm now back loaded in and ready to go. I was trying to get a couple things ready for our
and while
but
you do that, what I
yeah.
want to do, and I'm bringing this question up because it is too soon right now for this question, but TLOG, I'm bringing this question up because we're going to answer this question. We're going to talk about this question, which is, what are builders doing to bring new players in? We'll address this, but what we want to do first, we want to talk about what has happened in the past year. We've had such advancement in community ownership with technology, interoperability. So let the guys kind of walk us through what has happened in Decentraland, because again, where we're starting is we're saying these metaverses are empty, right? But my aim was for you guys to see what is really happening in these metaverses. So let Scott take us in. You let me know, Scott, and I'm going to bring
I'm
the
ready.
screen up here.
Yeah, ready to go.
I
I
don't
just want
think
to
you
jump
share.
in. I just want to jump in just real quick here and say I'm loving all the comments and questions that are coming in on the side. I'm really having a good time reading them all. So hello to everybody. Roustan, I think Miss Gecko is fangirling for you.
Who's the bottom left? That would be Miss Gek right here. Roustan, I saw you on TikTok. Someone says, "Oh boy, what was he?" Do we? Now the dirt comes out.
Possible. It wasn't my doing though.
Guys, keep asking your questions. I'm going to make sure I don't miss any of them. I'll keep an eye on it. Scott, I don't think you're sharing your screen, TBH.
Thank you. I'm going to go with, yeah.
You guys are so funny in the
we
comments.
did practice this. I'm
It's
going
all
to go
good.
with my entire screen.
We have so much to talk about.
Yep.
While you're doing that, Tang.
I'm ready now.
Well, actually, no, here, I'll let you. Because we were going to talk about the changes. Some big changes in Decentraland, guys, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Tang.
I would love to let AJ lead it because I think he probably has a certain order that he wants things. But I know that for me, okay, I'm just going to go for it.
Go. Yeah, go for it.
I know that for
Start us off with the whole community initiative. There was a big shift there. Explain that to us.
The community initiative. Scott, what were we talking about with the community initiatives? Start me off.
Right. I'll go here. I mean,
right.
The reason why we are where we are here in Decentraland, if you look in the background over my head, it says mesh, and that's 1 through 14. If I look over on the other side, that's 15 through 28. So there's 28 complete cubes. There's an additional 5 in another location. This is part of Metaverse Art Week. I'm just going to come here and go to my camera so I can, come back and we can see slightly better view. So yeah, you can see some of the old installations from Art Week last year. There's the little Atlas guy that's walking around. There's the Mesh Art Fair, and that was created by Bay Backner, and that was featured in the CNN piece. Instead of the foundation holding these tentpole events, they have slowly begun to turn these over to the community. So when we talk about community initiatives, this is what we're talking about. Bay organized it. She applied for a grant through the DAO. So there's 2 separate entities that make up Decentraland without getting too wonky. There's the foundation, and they're the ones that are sort of like the captains. They steer the ship. They do most of the main development. And then there are other initiatives that people want to take on, like having an art fair or having a music festival. Those are now handled by the community. So I thought we'd just start off here at Mesh Art Fair to look at, what is possible when the foundation, which it's part of their directive, right? When they started it back in 2017, the Decentraland first opened its doors in 2020. It will eventually be run, by the community members. So that's what's happening. That's what's begun to happen now. I'll just draw
So
your
the
attention.
community is driving most of these experiences, correct, right now?
Yes. Yeah. So one of the test cases for that was the Mesh Art Fair. Also Pride, the previous 2 years, those were run by Foundation, or the previous year. This year it was organized and run by a studio in Decentraland called Polygonal Mind. They're also in Spatial and in Roadblocks and other places, but Polygonal Mind took care of the Pride Festival. So then we've got every single month there's a different theme. Let me just zoom in here so you can see. So back when the Metaverse Music Festival, it used to be just called the Metaverse Festival, was in November. So the first one was in 2021. This year, it's going to be run entirely by community members. Shout out to Shelly Van and True Band Room. They totally killed it last year during the Metaverse Music Festival. I think Roustan can really talk about how amazing the True Band Room stage was. And I think that was a really clear sign to Foundation and to community that, yes, we got this. We can totally do something like this. Roustan, what would you say?
Yeah, True Stage was set up with like 2 weeks notice. They completely built this virtual stage and prepped what was it, like 3 or 4 days of live shows, I think it was like
It was all 4 days.
like a few hours per day. I can't remember how many, but there was a lot of participants. It was a huge undertaking, and they pulled it off, and it was easily, in my opinion, the best stage of the whole music festival, and it was a perfect demonstration of what the community is capable of.
Tang, you're doing a lot of these events. What are they mostly focused on? Is it fashion, music, a little bit of everything? I saw someone said here the Pride scene was cool. What are the focuses here? You're muted. You're muted.
Am I
Sorry.
muted? Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Yep.
For what me and the baby dolls do, we mostly focus on music events, art events, and fashion events. And I think the thing that we really push, regardless of the subject matter, is consistency. So we make sure that there is always something going on particular days of the week. And that gives the community a place to always come and gather and hang out. And there are other venues doing the same thing as well. You guys mentioned True earlier. Consistency is the real superpower in Web3. I think everybody can agree with that. And being able to have the opportunity to support the community DJs, bring in new DJs, or do some fantastic live art shows, which is something that we've done a couple of series of since we talked to you. Being able to reach out into other metaverses and do cross metaverse parties. I mean, these are all things that enrich our community, highlight community members that are doing great stuff, and hopefully onboard new members into the community and explore other communities ourselves as well. I love Decentraland, but like Roustan was saying, I also love Hyperfi. And like Scott was saying, there are so many other metaverses opening up. So part of being interoperable is being able to reach out and not necessarily always onboard people into Decentraland, but just like kind of increase our family network. And I think that these community initiatives that Scott was talking about, these monthly themes, is a way to get people excited about coming to a new metaverse and showing off something that they're doing based on a theme. If there's anything I've learned about Decentraland and the metaverse, is everybody loves a theme party. So this is kind of like a bigger version of that. You know, we all love to wear all white, or we all love to dress up like our favorite movie character. I mean, who doesn't even, everybody likes to do that in real life too, right? I mean,
someone loves bingo. Someone loves bingo. Roustan, let me ask you about activations. How important are activations in these events?
Well, I mean, I guess I tend to have more of like a chill way of going about things. Like I don't really prep too hard, you know.
By the way, I asked you that because you have an awesome activate. Well, I call it activation, but just these opportunities where people can engage with experiences or things or products. Do we want more of those experiences?
I think so. I mean, I come from a gallery background, so before Web3 showed my artwork, my photographs and prints and videos in traditional gallery settings where people could buy them and own them. You know, now it's virtual with Web3, so I don't touch that anymore. But in my previous life, I would try to make the event more interesting. I wouldn't just have framed pictures on the wall. I would have framed pictures on the wall, video, live music, live body painted models walking around that people could see with their own eyes. Because a lot of people for a long time couldn't believe that I was actually doing what I was doing with body painting, because they were just looking at a photo and they would ask me, is that photoshopped? You know, so I've basically conditioned myself over the years to create more than just a basic gallery presentation, and it became like a full-fledged activation, and it's just become kind of a norm for me to do that. So when I dove into Decentraland and Web3, it was just like, all right, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need a DeLorean, I need a hot tub, I can do anything I can possibly imagine, and it won't cost me that much money. So I'm gonna do it. Like whatever I can think of, I'm gonna do it. And so that's what I did. And it wasn't like I was trying to do that. I was just conditioned to do that. And the response from that was really good. So I think people that really push their creativity to the limit and share it with the world will benefit more than people that just stick to the old ways.
I absolutely agree with that. And Scott, is that an activation you brought us to?
Right. Yeah. So Roustan, being the artist, and we being at the Mesh Art Fair, this is one of the mesh cubes that was unveiled at the Mesh Art Fair. So an activation is, I would say, more akin to a brand coming in and creating an experience. This is definitely an experience. If I walk into the center here, there's more to see. I don't want to make anybody sick. Just imagine, doing
Psychedelic.
that with VR goggles. But yeah, I just, since we were talking about art, I wanted to come here and, look at this experience. Roustan is perhaps being a little humble, but he has created a number of
He is.
innovative experiences in Decentraland. We're going to see one of them, uh, later in this program. But this is just some of the sampling. There's, like I said, I think there's 33 complete cubes. In this, even the background here in the Mesh Art Fair was part of a commissioned piece for the art fair. It's based on a certain style of brush, a brush and pen ink style. Anyway, I think it's really lovely. But yeah, it's I think it's a true testament to the statement from this year's Decentraland Foundation, which is 2023 is the year of the creator. And they're definitely putting commitment behind those words, right? They're not just words. The Mesh Art Fair being one of them, the True Band Room Stage being the other part of that.
Yeah, and Tang, I think
Go ahead.
you would agree with giving creators so much to work with here. I mean, you're a creator yourself, and you are constantly putting out and it's not just content. I mean, you're building things, and you're very fashion driven. Will you talk to us a little bit about being a creator and being in this environment and still having this blank canvas of whether it's here in this metaverse or another metaverse of just building whatever it is that your heart desires and you can envision, and the sky is the limit. And you and I were talking earlier, is this is such a nascent space that we don't want to say no to any opportunity, and there are so many opportunities here for creators to come in, from what Roustan does to what you do to what I do in media and news to what Scott does in education. There is room and a blank canvas for everyone here. Will you talk to us a little bit about some of the specific things you do in fashion? You just did an AI project as well. Walk us through your experience as a creator here in these different environments. Oh, your mic.
That was a lot. I will start off by saying that I came into Decentraland as an artist, getting interested in the NFT world, the NFT projects, and I wanted to make architectural NFTs. So I came in as a creator, and what struck me most about Decentraland was more about the community, the support that we have of all creators, the working marketplace, the spirit of collaboration that runs through this. And even though I kind of came in as an artist, I found in the last 2.5 years that I've been here that there was a potential inside myself that I don't even think that I knew was there. And that was unlocked by my experience in the metaverse. So I encourage anybody to come inside and realize that there are absolutely no limits to what you can do. Everything, literally everything is possible. So you can find potential and unlock it within yourself, meet other creative people, and build together to build really anything.
Absolutely.
I went off a little bit there, but
No,
yeah, when we first started this conversation, we were talking about how busy we were, just because there are so many. Oh my goodness!
Look, and by the way,
Instagram.
can I say the Roustan Tang collaboration? Oh my God! Are you guys gonna do another one? Was that it? I came to the late party so late. That collaboration is sick. It's
Anything
sick.
is possible.
Roustan, why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Can you guys talk about that collab real
I
quick?
mean, that was a long time we were prepping for that, and I had a really challenging time finding the right model. to fit Tang, and this gal, she's just such an awesome personality that I decided to go with her. But yeah, Tang asked to do a collaboration with Body Paint, and to me, it's just such a perfect idea. Like, you can't go wrong with something that makes total sense. So we pulled that off. Tang and I go way back. Like we
do.
we started like the early days of Casa Roustan, which is my gallery studio in Decentraland, and that's kind of where the baby dolls were birthed, and that was like the first reveal of the outfits, and so like it's just kind of a no-brainer. Let's collaborate, put this out there. People would love it, eat it up, combine it with a digital wearable, and like we just went the whole 9 yards.
And it sold out, like all sold out, right?
Yeah, in 30 seconds it sold out. So
Oh
less than a minute. It was pretty crazy.
During the dead bear market, it sold out.
Okay, I didn't know it was that fast. I was up there for probably 10 minutes trying to buy one of these. So if I had known it was sold out in 30 seconds, I would have like gone and gotten myself a cup of coffee.
You would have had 9.5 more minutes of your life left. Exactly. I have to say a little bit of alpha here, a little bit behind the scenes, that actually this idea came from a seed from Scott. Long time ago, when we were just having a conversation, and he was like, I have a really cool idea. And this was basically the idea. And it took months and months and months for it to come around. And Scott, you've been so nice about not like, it was my idea to everybody, but really.
And he couldn't even get an NFT, guys.
I mean, that's kind of what it's like. But here's the thing. Let me tell you a secret, Mona and everybody in the audience. That's what it is like among creatives, right? I have a saying, and I call it SHEW, SHEW, and that's sharing helps everyone win. And I've been an artist my entire life, and when we share, when we collaborate, it's just like I'll see something that Roustan is doing, and I'll feed off of that, right? It's an upward spiral of positivity. It's a self-reinforcing, virtuous cycle, right? So it's like, okay, so Alvaro, he's one of the developers at Foundation. He's the one that's been working on the backpack that we're going to see here in a little bit. Alvaro has a saying where it's like, ideas are like the least valuable commodity at an organization, and what's most valuable is the grind, right? It's the execution of that. I know few people, Mona, and everybody out there, that are more dedicated, hardworking, visionary than the other two people that are joining me here. Like, Roustan has always got something new going on.
All of you, all three of you. Absolutely. I'm going to speak for you too, Scott. You guys are nonstop. And that's why I wanted to bring you guys here, because I want people to see that these are our creators, our builders who are diligently working day and night in these environments to build, to create, to educate, to give you a tour, to show you, to have you touch and experience. And I wanted you to meet them, and I wanted you to see that they do exist. So if the numbers are down, listen, these builders are still building. And I want to ask you, Scott, if yesterday you and I talked about the Rapid Production Initiative. As you're taking us through the backpack, will you talk to us about that too? Because that's something new in Decentraland as well, and what the results of that was. And if between you and Tang, you want to introduce that to us and talk to us about that as well.
Oh, absolutely. So there's an article that I wrote that I published. Jared actually wrote the article. I hired him to write it, and it's all about. Here, let me just go to the blog.
And I put it in the comment section, in the video notes, by the way, guys.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So yeah, let me just go right to my site. We'll talk about this place here in just a little bit. That's one of the other metaverses. But if I come down here to the blog and just look at some of the announcements. So there's Metaverse Art Week. There's I I'm not finding it.
You want? I
Tang,
can drop it in.
help.
What are we
I can drop it in
saying?
Discord. You
Fill
want
me
me to
out.
drop it
Thank
in
you.
Discord?
Yeah, because yes, please.
Yep, I can. And I have it in
Okay,
the.
here's the article.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
Woo,
There we go.
woo, okay.
Most of the rest of it.
Right. So this is the new backpack. Alvaro Luque is the lead project manager on the backpack initiative. Jared sat down with him, had a nice long interview, and just talked about what's going on, an expert look at the uncharted future. Alvaro talks about what it's like to just take these ideas and bring them into reality. So here's some of the things that you can do now: sort and search wearable collection, view wearables equipped in each slot. There's also VRM exports. There's you've got the search up in the upper right hand corner. Then there's savable outfits. But the Shape Up program is what they're using. So it's 3 to 6 members on a team. Look, there's Tang, our favorite Metaverse supermodel, dancing with Jared.
We're going to talk
these
about
are
Tang dancing.
these are some of the benefits, right? So saving outfits, artificial intelligence, non-playable characters. Then you've got you can quickly swap names in World. You can add links to the chat. You can manage. So Worlds is like a whole new initiative. But
So
I really want to
much.
get what's
so
that?
much
Yeah.
going
There's
on.
so
Yes.
much.
And in such a short time, guys, in less than a year.
Yeah, there has been a lot of improvements. And some of them seem quite small. Like for instance, he's talking about Worlds, right, which is huge, and VRM exports, which is huge. We're going to get into that discussion. But as he was going through that list, there was one small one, was like the ability to change names in World, in Backpack, which seems like a very small thing. But I can tell you that when we have 40, 50 people at a party, it's almost like changing your outfits. All of a sudden, somebody will change their name to, for example, Cherry Pie, which is the name of one of the baby dolls, NFT Bubblegum. And then another girl will put on her name, which is Sugar Pie. And that's the name of Mana Dacre, another community member. And then, there will be a Sweetie Pie, and my name is Peach Pie. All of a sudden, and then there's a Pizza Pie. All of a sudden, everybody starts changing their names, and it becomes, again, like another bonding experience between all of us. And it's these kind of shared experiences that build culture. So even though it seems like a really small thing just to be able to switch through your names online, it's actually, building kinship.
Of course, yes. And Scott, while you have it, digital identity, can I bring that up yet? Digital
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, you go ahead. Talk to us about how important that is, because that's something very new and that's really important.
Okay, so Decentraland, I think, has, and nobody else has corrected me. So until somebody says, "Oh, actually," Decentraland has about 8,000 collectible items in the market. This is my closet, right? These are the things. I can change my shirt. I can wear a Hawaiian shirt instead of a flannel shirt. But there's 8,000 of these in the Decentraland marketplace, and these were, a majority of them, I would say like 98% of them, were created by members in the community. I made these boots. These pants were made by KJ Walker. This, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. Art Cibola made this, made this top. The fire hair was part of the Snapple build. I made the glasses and the eyebrows or whatever that I'm wearing. But it's like, my point is, with 8,000 that go in these different slots, you see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 different slots. You divide those 8,000 into those, you get something like 4 times 10 to the 37. So that's 4 with 37 zeros. Different combinations, unique combinations that you can create your own digital identity. You can start here just with the base if you want to be male or female, or even if you want to go androgynous, then you can pick hair color, all of these things, the eyes, the mouth, the tops, the hands,
Okay.
the glasses, whether you want to wear glasses or not.
For me, though, what this means, and what I think it means to a lot of other people, is that now I have this extremely extensive wardrobe that I can mix and match for every type of occasion. If we're all wearing black pants, we can all style them totally differently. Having a VRM export that allows us to pull these different combinations allows us to bring our digital identity with our extensive wardrobes into different metaverses. That's what I
So
like about it.
let's talk about interoperability, because that is huge here too. I mean, I think Decentraland has taken the next step in interoperability. Not that I recall, but we didn't have this about a year or so ago, and I think it's really cool that you guys can now take all of these items and assets and walk through different worlds. And
Mm.
Scott's gonna show us here how you do that, which is only a
It's
few steps, right, Scott?
it's literally like 2 steps. I just clicked on the here, I'll do it again. So I've got
This
my
is cool. I
pre-saved
like this.
outfits, right?
Yeah. Yep.
This is the outfit that I have for the show tonight. This is an outfit that I have for another segment in the show that we'll talk about smart wearables. But I want to equip this one, so I equip it, and then I just click on for VRM export. Step 1, VRM. Click that button. Step 2, save,
Done.
and then
then
it's
you go,
done.
wow.
Yep.
Okay, so then you go to the next world.
Upload
Yeah.
it.
So here I'll go to. Do I already have it? I think I already have it up. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so I go to Upstreet, and here I am in Upstreet, and it's the hair is a little different, the pants are a little different, I think, but I've got here. Let me just show you all the different ones that I've already
You still
imported.
feel like you, right? You feel like
Yes.
you. And
Yep.
not
Right.
only you feel like you can tweak your customize, you can tweak your digital identity based on how
This
you
is
feel.
really,
Like,
yeah.
you-
And I want to, and this is so important for artists too, right, Roustan? As an artist, if you're creating these, I know you do more painting, but how important is it for you that your art is interoperable as an
Oh, it's extremely
artist?
important. I think because I think especially the three of us in here, we all probably agree that there's not going to be just one platform that rules all. There's going to be multiple
Let's go skinny
platforms
dipping.
that represent a whole metaverse, and so I think to be able to take your avatars between those various platforms to join events, certain events for each platform is extremely important. What's funny for me though, like you're saying, I'm a body painter. I've learned how to do this, how to create my own VRMs, and now I kind of feel like I'm at a crossroads of what should I focus on more? Virtual avatars, virtual body painted avatars. Scott is wearing one of my virtual body paintings, which is meant for Decentraland. It looks better in Decentraland because it was designed for Decentraland. But like, at what point do I discontinue painting real people, or do I continue doing both, or do I, I'm
Wow.
transitioning right now.
It's a good problem to have, though, no?
Definitely.
I think for people that are brand building, and whether that's building up your personal brand or whether you're a business coming in here and wanting to get visibility and recognition from your brand, being able to have a consistent digital identity from metaverse to metaverse is extremely important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that Scott might be not want me to say it now. I don't know if how far we are from the world that we visited yesterday, Scott, but the in-world shopping, because you're showing wearables right now, there's in-world shopping as well that we didn't have last year.
I can go to the blog post. They just posted this right here. It's a community
yeah.
highlight. So you can see here that just by going to Angzar Outpost, you can look at what we have here are some gamified assets, right? So you've got a skeleton here with a shield and a sword. So it currently, what most people need to do is they need to go to market.decentraland.org. And you could also go to third parties. And that's the beauty of Decentraland, it being open source, is that you can go to third parties like Drafo.com. So you could buy any of these wearables that you see here inside Drafo. And I actually like Drawfo better to the foundation one. Sorry, guys, but I do because I can browse wearables. Other than go to Decentraland, right? Or I can go to creators. And oh, who's this up at the top? That's Tangpoko. So if I want to look at
Very
Tangpoko's
top.
collection, there's this new top that they've got. There's a pair of glasses that they had for Quest.
But I think the point here, though, is that right now, up until this point, we've only been able to get it on the marketplace, right? But now,
Yep.
Yep.
Now let me go. Here we go. Yep. Yeah. Now we can go
There you
to
go.
Angzar, and we can buy it inside the world, right?
That's cool.
That's the main.
Very. We didn't.
Sorry,
this is new.
that's the main
This is
point. Yeah.
all new.
Yeah, we should shout out Lastrom for this. He's always had this grand vision of everything should be done in the metaverse. You shouldn't have to leave it to purchase a wearable or conduct transactions of any kind. Like everything should be in the metaverse. It should be Web3, and he's taking step by step. He's making that happen. It's pretty amazing.
Respect to Lastrom and what he's done for Decentraland over the last few years. He is a true innovator. Yeah.
Do you guys think that people, and I want to kind of circle back to one of the very first questions that someone asked, and is how do we get more people in here? Do you guys think that people want to come into these environments more for shopping, more for entertainment, to create, to build, or have experiences right now? Or is it a little bit of everything? What are you guys seeing more of?
I think it's more about entertainment than anything. I look at people scrolling on Instagram. I go to the beach. I live in Southern California. I'm 2 miles from the beach. I go to the beach, and everyone I see laying on the sand is on their phone. They have this big, beautiful ocean right in front of them with glorious sunshine and gentle sand, right? And they're laying on a towel looking at their phone, swiping. And that's because they want the dopamine hits that come from, likes and pictures and whatever. And so the metaverse to me is that exponential, like now you have 3D visuals added to that. Now you have the ability to flex what you're wearing digitally. And these are things that normies don't know yet. They're not aware that this is their future and it's inevitable. And to me, like everything that everyone is doing right now, building cool events, setting up awesome DJs, creating amazing wearables, they're just going to become a thing of normalcy.
Do you think then collaborations are important with artists to have these concerts, to have these activations and experiences then, correct?
Oh, for sure. Collaborations, I think collaborations in Web3 are like one of the best ways for growth. And it combines communities, it combines fan bases, and educates people with things they may not be aware of.
Absolutely. And so when we go back to that question of how do we bring people in here as a builder, as a creator, and Tang and Scott, feel free for you guys to jump in as well. Do you guys think that it's I just lost the train of my thought.
I do think that it's a lot about identity for sure.
Yes.
Kind of what Roustan was saying about people liking to be on Instagram and getting that dopamine hit from flexing whatever it is they're wearing or doing. You can do that in the metaverse. And as the interoperability comes in a little bit more, we'll see that. I love the fashion aspect to Decentraland, and a lot of it has to do with identity and creating personalities for yourself. You see kind of these half metaverses like Zepeto, for instance. I don't know if you've ever been on Zepeto or Zepeto. That is all fashion. That is all changing your different outfits. So I think it is exactly the same thing that drives people to go on Instagram, except in a 3D space. For me to try and bring people here, I just want to make it a really cool place to hang out. I want to make it, like a chat room with a lot of your friends, except that it's 3D and you look great and you look fabulous and you're living your best life.
So you're more about experiences.
I am definitely more about experiences. You called me a creator before, and though I came in as an artist creating my own thing, I'm definitely more focused on experience curation right now. I love to find people that are creating, are making wearables, are making art, and folding them into the community, celebrating them, highlighting them, and connecting them with other people who can collaborate with them. I mean, that's where I find my creative energy is really inspired when I start seeing those kind of connections happen.
By the way, speaking of connections, can we focus, Scott, on what's happening right here? Because up to now, not today, now, you wouldn't have been able to do this right here. Do you guys see where hands are? And by the way, yes, you do need consent. You do need consent in the metaverse before you put your hand on Gek's hip. Okay.
You heard that, Tang? You heard that?
May I touch you?
Or anybody's hip for that matter. But this is a new technology here. If you guys can explain this, please.
So yeah, since I think the last time we were here, these are also user created emotes. This is actually a collaboration between Tangpoko and myself. Yeah, come on, get in there, Tang. Thank you. Yeah, so this is an emote, which is it's an NFT. It's on the blockchain. It's an animation file. It's about 10 seconds long, and if you look at the hands, there's subtle movements, and we're just swaying back and forth, right? Connection. That's what experiences are, right? We come together with each other so that we can connect to one another. And this offers us the opportunity to have those kind of connections. And
this is so fascinating. I mean, touch is happening in the metaverse with consent.
Definitely with consent. It's been around now for a couple of weeks, and I have to say, I've had a number of slow dances with people that have been really, really transformative, where you kind of take a breath and have a moment and really make a connection with somebody. It has far exceeded my expectations on what we wanted to do. I absolutely love this emote.
Yeah, and I want to point out too that like some people that haven't really explored it get hung up on the way that it looks, saying it looks too cartoony or like PlayStation 1 or whatever. But when you're really deep in it, you kind of get tunnel vision and engulfed in what you're participating in, and it tends to feel more real than not. You know, the experiences that you're having, and there's something special about that. And again, we're like pretty early in this metaverse, creation. Ultimately, I think we're going to see like metaverse platforms that are photorealistic, which is going to be even more intense.
Go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, there are any number of technical reasons why, the foundational team made the decisions that they did to have it. It's Decentraland is what's considered a low poly metaverse, right? And there are others that use a different type of technology that enable, beautiful caustic lights and reflective surfaces and stuff like that. But they're all standalone worlds. If I come to the map in Decentraland, these are all contiguous, meaning they're right next to each other. So we can walk from one place to the next, and we can have up to 100 people in one realm or shard at a time. And that creates all kinds of other technical complications. The four of us are here right now and we're talking, but we're 2D representations and just audio. But if you wanted to make a 3D representation, and Mona, I wanted to come dance with you, in order to have that show up for Tang and for Roustan, that animation file has to be on all of our computers. So it gets way more complex super fast. People are working on the solutions. People like Alvaro and Nico and others of the foundation, like Lastrum at Last Slice. But it takes time. And in this bear market, when the daily active users are down, they're spending time doing things like this. Tang and I are spending time working on emotes that enable us to do fascinating things. So
I want,
here's,
yeah, go ahead,
here's one
sorry.
that Roustan. No, this is just one that Roustan made. Just kind of showing off things. These are all community made. This is one that I did. It's called Pole Spinner. It's something that Tang and I talked about a number of times. Is like it'd be really cool if we could have people, because I don't know, when I was in college, I loved to spin around poles when I was dancing.
I
It's
bet
just a
you
fun.
did.
Yeah, it is. I
Bet you did,
still.
Scott.
Where is
Scott's
this
dreams are
conversation going?
Scott's dreams are coming true.
That's the metaverse right there. You couldn't have said it more succinctly. It is fertile ground for dreams to come true. You just take that dream out of your head, that idea, you plant it in the metaverse, and look at me. I'm spinning around poles again, and I'm 54 years old. So
Oh my God. And
Yeah,
I
that's
want to,
true.
yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to share one of my opinions earlier, but it's connected. I think the biggest factor is convenience, and I think convenience wins out every single time. And what you can do in the metaverse is ultra convenient. Like for example, Deadmau5 played in the first Metaverse Music Festival in Decentraland, and we got to watch him perform from his basement at his house, I believe. And I own one of his NFTs, one of the heads NFTs, and that actually gave me free tickets to a live concert in Los Angeles. And I went to the concert, and driving there took a while. Parking was kind of a pain, cost extra money. The times were off, so we were there 3 hours early, and then he didn't actually go live until like 3 hours until after it started. And then we were tired. We were standing all day, bumping shoulders with a packed house. And we came home, and I was like, I don't want to do that again. Like, it's way better in the metaverse. It's way more convenient. And I think people are going to realize that at some point, that you'll be able to do things. And like Scott was saying, like my virtual body paints, for example, like I've been doing this for 19 years, and there have been countless people who want to get painted but give me an excuse why they can't, because they're not comfortable in their body, or because they're too far away from me, and we just can't make it happen. But now, like, someone in Europe could wear my virtual body painting, regardless of whether they're self-conscious or not, and rock it, and own it. Like, the
Yeah.
convenience factor is just like unparalleled.
Kalo from
I want to
Wisher
talk about.
made. Oh no, go ahead, Mona.
No, go if you're
Go
here.
ahead.
If you're here on your screen, you want to explain something. Go ahead, and then I'll say
Oh, I'm just
the
gonna.
story.
This is it's an interesting glitch that we got going on right now, and this is what happens when you go
looks
fast
good,
and you
though.
break shit. Yeah, I don't know, that's pretty tight.
Scott's dark side.
Just one of the community members. Her name is Kim, but she goes by Kalo. She founded Wisher Vodka, which is a first spirit of the metaverse. Anyway, she was saying that she was always enthralled by Roustan's body paint, but then she was able to actually buy one of the NFTs, one of the body paint wearables, and wear it, and it did like a little mind flip for her inside. She's like, oh, I see myself walking around, right? It's that mental image that we have, and that's what taps into our imagination. So it's like this positive feedback loop of, I can imagine something, I planted it in the metaverse, I see it, and then Roustan does something like that, and then I put on the body paint, and I'm walking around completely naked except for a coat of paint. That is
Yeah, I remember too
Yeah.
when Shelly Van at True first rocked that color changing body paint, and I remember her expressing how insecure she was to wear it on her avatar the very first time.
Yes.
She had to get past that.
Even in the metaverse, there's insecurities. Who knew? I want to bring up some of the possibilities, because I think that's what the metaverse does. The possibilities are endless. And I first want to remind everyone that tech never happened overnight. This is such a progress and process. And what we're showing here takes hours and hours. And I can't imagine what it's taken to do this level of work. And hats off to you guys for taking the time and being so inspired to do such innovative work. But I just want to bring up possibilities in Rustan's Julia's experience, because we were talking, I was talking to him before the show. In one of my previous spaces, I was talking about and I was covering the AI driven NPCs. And if you guys have seen those, if you haven't seen it, you have to go check out in YouTube the AI driven NPCs that are coming out. And this idea that you can now talk to AI driven NPCs who have behaviors, who have movements, who make decisions, and you can really you can have a friend in these environments. And so we were talking about this when we were watching, and I was watching this video, and somebody brought up this story, and I've been wanting to tell Roustan, I've hold it till now, but someone said, you because I said, outside of gaming, where do you use this? Where do you see this technology really helping humanity or helping us in our daily lives? And someone said, I have a compelling story. There was a kid who used to play Xbox video game, was a racing game with his dad, and his dad dies, and he puts the Xbox away. And a few years later, he finds the Xbox, and he fires it up, and his dad's best play was in the Xbox. So he starts playing with the ghost of his dad. And he doesn't want to stop playing, or he doesn't want to beat his dad, because if he beat his dad, then his dad goes away. And someone said that now with AI and driven NPCs, we can bring his dad back to life, and his dad can relive in these environments. And then Scott told me about Rustan's project, which, Roustan, I'm going to give it to you to tell us about this amazing project, but it's really a testament of what is possible. And we're still very far from it, but this is a glimpse of what we're going toward and the world and the possibilities that are ahead of us. And I think that's what's exciting. And I hope if you're here and you see this, you see beyond, outside of the box, and what is about to, how our lives and our experiences are about to be enhanced. So I'm going to give it over to you, Rusana. Will you tell us about the
Yes, my
Julia's
pleasure.
experience?
My pleasure. I'll try to tell the story as succinctly as possible. In 2018, I was DM'd out of the blue by this company in Santa Monica, California, to do a full AR VR capture of a painted model. They wanted to see what the textures of body paint looked like on a model. And this isn't just like a body scan that's one frame. It was actual video recording. So I brought in one of my favorite models, Julia, to partake in this, and we had no guarantees. They weren't going to pay me for it, but I was like all about being at the front of technology, so I wanted to do it, and so we did it, and I never got the footage from it, which I expected. They told me I was asking, could I maybe use it for a gallery show that people could see in the future, and they said, if it comes out perfectly, you can use it. And I knew it wasn't going to come out perfectly, so I was like, I won't be able to use it. So I still did my own photo shoot alongside, which you see there on the screen right now. And maybe a year later, Julia passed away, unfortunately, from a fentanyl overdose, which is a huge problem in the United States right now. And so, like, very sad, amazing human being, great. We spent a lot of great time together, and this was in my head that this existed, and I decided to make a body paint video in memorial for her. So I painted her portrait on the back of another model and put it on YouTube. And in 4 months, her mother DM'd me out of the blue, someone who I'd never spoken to before. She stumbled on the video, saw it, and was really grateful, and asked to talk to me. And so we talked on the phone for over an hour, just sharing amazing memories. I was telling her stories about our experiences together. And in the back of my mind, I knew that this 3D footage existed, but I couldn't get it. So I didn't know if I should tell her about it. Like, why would you tell someone that this content exists of their child that is no longer with us and they can never see it? So I sort of kept it to myself that first time. And long story short, I decided to reach out to the company and told them the whole situation, and they released it to me and to the parents. And So I was able to get them to see it, and they actually didn't look at it for a year. And my goal was to make this, and I had to sort of baby step my way to get permission to do this. And so I was able to, and with everything in that time learning about Web3, I was able to create this build that showcases a lot of Julia's artwork that can be purchased as NFTs that would go towards fentanyl awareness. 100% goes into her parents' wallets. And then in the middle, in the center there, there's a statue. And if you click on the statue, it takes you to, if you actually look up in the sky right now, Scott, you see this thing floating in the sky. That's where Julia is. And so you
Oh
click on
my
the
God.
statue and you beam up to there and you go to this private world where you can actually meet her in full 3D.
Which is going to give you, if you haven't seen this, I get goosebumps every time. I cannot imagine her mother seeing this. This is like going to heaven and seeing your daughter.
Yeah,
Tang,
I
what
like
was
to
your?
I like to
No, go
think of
ahead.
this area as the space between heaven and earth, to where you get to meet someone who came down to just visit briefly. So behind her you see the gates to heaven, and you can't enter that, but she came down for a little bit just to say hello. And so this is the actual 3D footage that, you know, came out from our experience together with this company, Digital Nation Entertainment in Santa Monica, California.
This is incredible. And yes, I mean, Jordan says such a powerful experience, feels like it's such a special, important project. And I think it doesn't get any, I mean, sure, maybe there are more important things, but this is something very, very, very special that we're able to do this today. And that's why, you know, it's not about what the metaverse is doing tomorrow, it's about what metaverse is doing today. What experiences can you have right now? And it's about being able to do things like this for people, that makes these environments very unique. I mean, Tang, what was your first impression when you saw this?
I was really emotionally overcome. You know, I really had to be by myself for a little while and go through what this means. And it's not just about, you know, if somebody passes from your life, but think about what else you can do. Like, what if you have a child, and where they're at 3 years old is not where they're at 13 years old or 30 years old. It would be so amazing to be able to capture them at different times in their life, and then be able to go back and revisit those times. Or if you're falling in love with somebody, you know, to be able to experience those heady first 3-6 months of the honeymoon stage, you know, 10, 15 years from now, to be able to go and revisit those times, that would be very magical as well.
Gosh, it's just this, I can't think of what else you can do with. I mean, Tupac has come back to life a few times. So, you know, just I think for families, this is very special. This is very special, and it's timeless. It will
Here's the
always.
thing that I think. So just okay. So watch the capture here. That last look that you just gave, right? When you have something like performance capture, that right there, that
Hmm.
last little look,
Hmm.
I'd say that's what really got to me, because you know you can take a video, you can try to pose a particular shot or whatever, but then there are just going to be these random, unplanned, unscripted moments. I think that what we were talking about earlier, you know, with having the experiences with people in the metaverse, doesn't matter what the resolution, what the fidelity of something is, but you've got a real person, you know, at the other end. This is a real person, and to be able to capture that subtlety, that nuance, that special component of her character, that, you know, there's that smile, but then there's that last little look up and smile. It's like, I don't know what was going on there, but that just, those are things that cause people to truly fall in love with one another. How they hold their coffee cup in their hand when they're thinking about answering something that you don't get, you know, if you've got, a video camera or you're taking a picture of them, but if you can do a performance capture or
And,
just
and
spend time with them, you can get that sort of thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
imagine how we feel. We didn't even know her.
No.
So, and we feel this connectedness with her. And Roustan knew her in one way, so he feels a connectedness with her. But imagine her parents who come in here and see that and recognize, the scar on her shoulder from when she fell when she was a little, or a certain look in her eye. I'm getting like emotional again, just like watching this. I have to stop. We have to stop.
Wow, Roustan, well done,
Okay,
my
we'll
friend.
go
This is
back.
beautiful. Scott, thank you for walking us through it so graciously. It just made it even more emotional the way you just did that. Tang always says Metaverse is better with friends. Scott always says when DAUs, daily active users, go down, breakthroughs go up. And I think you guys just demonstrated how those two things are so true and evident. Because really, in less than a year, this is just a year ago we spoke, more friends, more builders, more creators, more community members. They've come together with incredible innovation. And they're not only empowering creators, but providing community. I mean, you guys were talking about community ownership. We have more community ownership this year. Huge strides. I see huge strides in technology, strides in interoperability. This was something that I did not hear of at all last year. The marketplace, and even when you were talking, when you guys were talking about digital identity, we're democratizing digital identity. So yes, numbers are down, but the building hasn't stopped. The builders are here. You guys are looking at them. They're right here, and they're doing some amazing work. And Scott says it best. What did you say earlier, Scott? We're working hard, imagining wonders, waiting for you to show up. So they're here. They're waiting for you to show up. Any final words from each of you? People
I think
are saying Metaverse is, I mean, they think nothing is happening, but so much is happening here,
Then
guys.
for final words, I'd just like to invite anybody who has any type of curiosity to come in, to DM one of us, any one of us, and any other fantastic members in the community. Just ask for somebody to come in. The metaverse is better with friends. Ask for somebody to meet you, take you to where the cool places are to hang out, introduce you to some cool people, and just see if you like it. Come in with curiosity, come in with an open mind, and I almost guarantee you will like it.
Scott, anything?
I
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I got to follow up that I encourage people to not believe everything that they're reading in the popular media, and to explore on their own. Don't regurgitate what they're reading. The metaverse is clearly not dead. It's inevitable. Those that are exploring it right now are capitalizing the most off of it, and will benefit the most off of it. And it's just going to become a normal everyday thing in the future.
That's beautiful. That's exactly it. And Scott, I'm not sharing your screen. Am I supposed to share your screen?
I mean, you can if you want to. I just
Sure. I always want to.
one thing that I wanted to note is we were in 3 different metaverses today. We were in Decentraland. I'm currently in Upstreet, and we were also in Play Canvas, right? So that's the interoperability message there. This avatar was created by Polygonal Mind. They're the ones that organized the Pride in Decentraland, this year. A really talented group of people. Power to the creators, whether they're independent creators like myself or Tang or Roustan, or if they're collectives like Last Slice or Polygonal Mind. I'm really excited, right? I'm a licensed educator in Minnesota, but in January I left. And it's been 6 months, at least since you and I talked, Mona. The Metaverse Fashion Week was only 6 months ago. And in 6 months, this VRM export, we didn't even talk about smart wearables and portable experiences. I mean, we want to keep this to an hour. I know we got kind of a late start.
I know. And I wanted to be mindful of you guys' time as well. But yeah, we missed a few things. But sorry, go ahead, finish, Scott. I
was just going to say that I'm I'm so enthusiastic about all of the possibilities. When I meet people, like every new person that I meet, I'll be here in Upstreet, right? And I just claimed one of the parcels. I spent probably a good hour and a half walking around, looking for a waterfront piece of property, and boom, there's a little splash, and then if I go in, then I can swim. I can swim slowly. I mean, there's just
I'm gonna come in and be your neighbor, okay?
okay, absolutely. Like Roustan, he told me about it. I'm like, oh yeah, because Roustan, what he painted on Julia were the caustics, right? He's often doing things
Yes.
with water, and
Yeah, I love
he
water.
got a place by the water. I'm like, oh, if I get a place, I want it to be near the water. Do I want to be near Roustan? I'm like, what's your, and I asked him what his parcel coordinates were, and I thought about it. I'm like, well, that's cool. You've got your own little island, and that works for Roustan. But I was able to find a place that is, truly uniquely me. And I'd love Tang to come in and hang out with me and, play in this space.
And
Yeah,
can I to your just piggyback on what you just said, Scott? I just
yeah,
covered a story that Metaverse. There's a particular Metaverse that's going to focus on tourism, and what they're doing is exactly what
right.
you just explained. They are going to take you to your destination before you get to your destination, for you to be inspired by the destination, hang out there, go through the immersive experience to see if you even want to go there. From checking out your hotel to going and seeing the beach, that is what AI is
That's all I need,
doing, guys.
actually. I'll just enjoy that part.
So they're
Cool.
inspiring you, and that is going to boost tourism, because don't we ask each other, hey, where did you go? How was it? Where did you stay? Where did you eat? Now you can go in the metaverse and experience all of those things before you go on your trip. I just had to add that.
Yeah, you can bring a 360 camera with you, and there's a guy here in St. Paul, and like that's his job now. He just got a 360 camera. He was an enthusiast, and everywhere he went, he traveled a lot for work. He would do a 360 capture. Now, like I can take that 360 capture, I can take the digital information from it, throw it into a 3D modeling application. That's actually how I lit the background, the sunglasses that Tang and I worked on for Questopia a couple of months ago. Um, I I dropped it in one of those 360 environments and lit the scene so it looked perfect. For it was beach time at sunset or something like that. So it's like, I don't know. It's just like that job did not exist 6 months ago. It just, yeah, there's so many possibilities. There's so many things that are being built. There are developers and creators and artists who are really in a moment of real expansion and explosion of creativity. I couldn't be more excited, and enthusiastic about the future.
Same here. Same here. Guys, I know we're running out of time here. I want to thank you for coming on tonight and taking us into your world, showing what you've been working on in the past year. You are innovative, you are visionaries. I don't know where you all get your energies from, but it's evident that some serious work has been getting done here. Can we go around the room and just tell everyone where can they learn more about you, get in touch with you? I mean, Scott does tours, education. I mean, you each do so many different things. Where can people learn more about you?
Tang, why don't you go first?
You can find me on Twitter at Tangpoko. You can find me on Instagram. I've got some cool AI pics that we didn't really get to go into today, but maybe on another time.
You can
Tangpoko
always
there,
show them.
Call them up now, Tang.
No.
Okay.
Just pull him up. She did pull him up earlier, and I stressed her out earlier about him. So you might Tang, pull him up real quick. Pull him up real quick. My
I'm
bad.
Tangpoko everywhere. I'm opening up a new dollhouse in the Metaverse of Mona this week. So that's kind of exciting. If you have an opportunity and you've always wanted to see what Mona's all about, do come and check that out. I'm sharing my screen now.
All right. That Mona is not this Mona, guys, but I was wondering why that Mona is not this Mona.
Right? You should be their spokesperson.
I'm serious. Come on now.
So we've
Go
got a
ahead.
few AI pictures here. We had talked a little bit about this. I don't know if we have just a couple more minutes. You know, the
Yeah.
idea behind making an AI model that consistently sort of looked like my DCL avatar was kind of a throwback to like maybe 10 years ago when you'd play a video game and the graphics were not that great, but they'd have these like really high fidelity cutscenes, these VFX cutscenes that were like movie quality.
Nice.
And then when you went back to the game, those kind of like stuck in your head, right? Roustan kind of touched on it earlier too, where you kind of just, you know, let yourself get absorbed into the imagination. So the graphics don't matter as much because it's the experience and the connection that you're having. So I kind of put these up as a way to kind of inspire people to look at the glamour and look at the possibilities and look at the way that I see myself there. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
And
We love to see you that way too.
except that it's different. It's not just an AI model. You can come into the metaverse. You can come meet
Yeah.
me, talk to me, connect with me. I have a nightclub. We have the baby dolls. So it's just another form of onboarding, I like to think.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. These are very cool. And these are all AI generated, yes?
Yep, they're all AI generated with Stable Diffusion. So I have an artist that helped me. She took hundreds of my selfies that I've used over the last 2 years and trained a model. I think she's calling it trained a LoRa model, so that I have a Tangpoko model that looks just like me. One of the interesting things that we can do with that is I have sort of a certain look going here, but we can also put different filters on. And one of the ones I've done lately has been an ultra realistic filter. So it looks exactly like a real life human. And that is taking me a little while to get used to. I don't know if I'm ready to show that yet because it definitely feels strange. She's you know, a Tangpoko that could be right next to you. It's a
Because
little
it's
bit
more
odd.
you. It's more you.
It's very, very real. It's very realistic.
Yes. Is it like the painting on the body that we were talking about earlier that the lady was
It's so real you think that you know that person. It's Tang, but
right.
it's Tang in human form. So it's definitely odd.
Very cool. This is very, and hopefully we would love to see more collaborations between you and Roustan. We want more NFTs, please. Can you guys and give us like some time? Jeez. That one is so quick. Nobody could before we moved, it was all gone.
That was exciting. That was very exciting. So I'd love to do something else with you, or maybe not even with me, but with other community members. I think it's super exciting what we did. I really like the kind of inception way it feels, that it's like a human being painted as an avatar who has actually played with a human. I mean, how much more meta and inside out can you get than that? So it would be fun to, you know, do like a Sinful collab or an OwedJob collab
Yes.
or something like that, right?
Yes, go. Let's go.
When Shelly
um,
ban
That.
Roustan body paint.
yes.
When Metamona, actually, I mean, you're in real life. Can we paint you?
I would love to. Let's go. I'm
Oh,
ready. Take me to Mona, paint me, just do everything. Roustan, where can people learn more about you and your work?
You can find all my info at bodypainter.com or at linktree slash Roustan, Roustan. I also have Rouverse, Ruverse. That's all my metaverse builds. But those are the three spots. And on YouTube. YouTube is kind of like my main place.
I did not know you were on YouTube. All right, I missed that, and I'm going to put that information in the video note for everyone and myself. Scott, anything we missed? Did I miss anything? I know we skipped a few things.
Yeah, Roustan also has a Patreon, so you can
mm.
see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that you won't see on YouTube. I'm a Patreon of Roustan's work.
Thank
But
you,
for
Scott.
myself, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I FOMO'd hard when I first saw Casa Roustan, and I'm a collector. I've got a number of his on the Tezos chain. I've of course got the stuff in Decentraland, but I'm OwedJob everywhere. So AwedJob, OwedJob. I'm OwedJob on Instagram, Twitter, on Farcaster, on YouTube, everywhere. So you look for me, come to Decentraland. Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. come into Decentraland. I and Billy T Coin and CK Bubbles, we will give you a tour. Like I said, 72 weeks running. So yeah, we're not stopping. There's 90,000 parcels, and we can't possibly see all of them. So come and hang out with us, and we'll give you a tour. But yeah, this has been so enjoyable. Thank you, Mona. You're the commensurate host. Thank you so much for inviting us on here tonight.
The pleasure is mine. I am so honored that I could have you guys. And, what makes this space interesting and very unique is that people like you are willing to come in the front lines and share their experience. I don't think that's ever happened before. So that's what makes this space very unique and very community driven. So thank you guys. Tang, any events people need to know about that's coming up in your club or anywhere else?
Like I was saying, we're having a grand opening of Dollhouse in Mona on Friday, which is super exciting. We've had giveaways all week long. Casa Roustan is one of our community partners, along with True, Roomway, Decentral Games, and Spotty Wi-Fi. Tons of giveaways. We've got Buffalo DJing, Gucci DJing. We're going to start in Decentraland, go over to Mona. The Mona team has been amazing at creating a dollhouse build and a dollhouse environment inside Mona. I'm super excited about that. A little bit of alpha coming up. I'm working with the Sandstorm building platform to do something called Sandstorm Creator Parties, where we're going to be celebrating almost an entire year of 3D builds, turning them into big super spaces, parties that are going to be wild with collections and quests and, of course, the same old baby dolls, DJs, everything going on.
I don't know how she does it.
And then Halloween is coming, right? That's all. And then Halloween is coming. Lots of secrets for Halloween too.
Absolutely.
Last little bit. I mean, if we're gonna promote stuff, I've got a new emote.
Of course, go drop it. Drop all the alphas. Roustan too. Go ahead, everyone.
I've got an emote that will be hitting the marketplace in like a day. So I gave one of our ice poker players some exclusive rights, so she was able to give them away as prizes. So the only way that you could get the new Sweep the Floor emote by me, AwedJob, was to win it on Empress Rayon's Kickstream. But now this coming weekend, you'll be able to get it in the marketplace. So if you clean up with an NFT collection like those people did with Roustan, the Routang collection that these guys did, or if you clean up on the ice poker and you're going to sweep the floor, you break out the Sweep the Floor emote. So look for that this weekend.
Love it. I love it. Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Did I miss anything? Are we good? We're going to come back and do this again, right?
Yes, I hope so. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I hope you each know that you can come back anytime, and I will be hitting you up for more updates and what's to come. But guys, that is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back again next week with more hot topics in the metaverse and Web3 technology. Until then, I'm your host, Mona. Stay positive.